Let me just, turn to another topic I think is very important right now, and that is our energy independence. It's a huge issue, and some things are happening now that people are not even aware of. While we may have talked about the importance of the budget reconciliation process to set up and to pass the historic and much needed tax cuts for our individuals and small businesses, the process also allows the Senate to use reconciliation for something equally as valuable, to allow energy exploration in Alaska. Yesterday, the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee met to consider legislation to open up a very small part of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge for responsible energy development. And this bill was successfully passed by the committee, and I look forward to helping it to continue to move through Congress. I've been an advocate for a long period of time for this to happen. It's interesting, this is the people in Alaska, they all want it to happen. The polling is something like 90-something to the people really want this to happen. They know all the benefits that will come to Alaska, the money that will be there, and they know also, you know, people talk about the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge as if this is some great big thing. It's the size of South Carolina. It's a very small thing, and right now we're going to be able to go up there and do it and to create jobs and opportunities, and authorizing the leases in Alaska will also increase revenue to the United States. You got to think about this, because it's estimated that energy production in Alaska can lead to over $1 trillion in revenue, responsible management that will have a positive impact on reducing our national debt. The most significantly, opening ANMR is allowing Alaskans to do what they want to do. You know, we're so good at this body here, thinking that we know more about what's good for Alaska, what's good for Oklahoma, what's good for Georgia, than they do in those countries. One of the few things we do right around this place is how we do our highway bills. Highway bills, we get the priorities of the states when they come in, and they decide what it is that they want to do in their states. Remember this thing about a bridge to nowhere, and everyone's all concerned about this, and all the talk shows jumped on it, and without even realizing until it was too late and they'd already gotten committed, that here's something that happened right for a change. You know, I was chairman of the committee at that time. That in the bridge to nowhere in Alaska didn't go nowhere. It went somewhere. The problem is there aren't any people there once you get there. And the reason is you can't get there. And so on their list of 100 priorities, they had number 4 was to build that bridge. But we in our infinite wisdom here say, oh no, you can't do that, because somehow the public didn't know what they were talking about. Well, that's kind of the same situation we have right now. We have something in Alaska that's their number 1 priority to develop, and for years and years we've stopped them from being able to do with their land what they want to do with their land. So the federal government has been keeping Alaskans from acting in their best interests. And finally, increasing energy production in Alaska is a key part of making the United States not only energy independent, but energy dominant. We are on the verge of doing just that. Earlier this week, the executive director of the International Energy Agency, Faith Brough, said that, and this is a quote, said, United States will become the undisputed global oil and gas leader for decades to come. And that growth in production is unprecedented, exceeding all historic levels. ANWR could be and should be a part of that story. Energy independence is vital to our national security. How many of these countries over there that have been part of the old Soviet Union who want their allegiance to us, and yet they're forced to buy their oil and gas from Russia and from Iran, and they don't want to do it? Well, now we're taking them off the hook. I had a great experience not long ago. I was invited by the president of Lithuania to come and open their terminal, their first terminal. And now we're changing all of that. And, you know, we had a guy named Harold Hamm. He happens to be in Oklahoma, and he's the chairman and CEO of the Continental Resources in Oklahoma. And he announced that they would begin exporting to China. Exporting to China, that's kind of a big deal. And he's the one who talks about how we are going to become undeniably we're going to be heading it up so we control enough energy to have that same impact on the rest of the world. So President Trump has been clear. He intends to make the United States a net energy exporter, something we haven't been since 1953. We're going to now. We're opening up the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, which just took place this last week, would be a big step towards this initiative, and I applaud the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee for helping the administration make this happen.